ADHD is just another name for bad behavior and no home training. ADHD is just an excuse. These kids just need more discipline. These kids don't have ADHD. They just play too many video games and it shortened their attention span. They eat too much sugar. Social media is ruining our ability to focus. Everybody has a short attention span these days. Have you ever heard or even said these things? Well, let's settle this issue once and for all. Hi, it's Dr. M, founder of Liberated Literacy, and I'm back busting some myths. Today's myth is about ADHD. ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. It is the result of the prefrontal cortex, that most front part of the frontal lobe, developing more slowly than the neurotypical brain. This part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, is in charge of executive functions, the skills that enable people to plan ahead and meet goals, display self-control, follow multiple step directions even when they're interrupted, and stay focused despite distraction, among other skills. Executive functioning also includes working memory, thinking flexibly, keeping emotions in check, managing anxiety, and being able to independently start tasks. So ADHD is when the prefrontal cortex is underdeveloped. It is a neurological condition. MRI scans have shown that people with ADHD have underdeveloped prefrontal cortices. Additionally, researchers believe that ADHD can be linked to problems with the neurotransmitter dopamine. Dopamine controls movement and emotions. But that does not mean that with the right strategies, tools, and interventions, including medication, a person with ADHD can't develop those executive functioning skills and change their brain. I mentioned this in my previous video, and we'll talk about this some more in a future video, but I want to pause here to be totally clear. ADHD is not a behavioral problem. It is a neurological difference. The impulsivity that shows up in making rash decisions and in risk-taking behavior, that shows up in not being able to control how much and when a person talks, that shows up as hyperactivity, all of these things are the result of the prefrontal cortex not being as developed as a neurotypical brain, and possibly with issues with dopamine transmitters. People with ADHD, they feel different. They know they're different. They often wish they had more control over their actions. They often wish they could focus more easily or stop themselves from hyperfixating on one thing, which causes them to neglect a whole host of other important things. And this can be really frustrating. Trust me, I know. I was not diagnosed with ADHD until I was in my 30s, and I presented more as the daydreamy, inattentive type. I had so much trouble with getting started on tasks, and then I would completely flip to being hyper fixated on other tasks, and I hated this about myself. As a kid, I would be so frustrated and disappointed with myself, and it caused so much self-loathing and self-flagellation. And I wish I didn't have to go through that. I wish I knew more of what I'm telling you guys now. So what do you want to know? What do you wish others knew about ADHD? Leave a comment or a question in the chat. Let's have a conversation about it. And remember, October is Dyslexia and ADHD Awareness Month. Spread the awareness, celebrate neurodiversity, like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you next time.